Yeah, it's the GitHub file. That is the GitHub file. Yeah. Okay. Let's we'll watch the new Fireship video. Has anyone heard of the new OpenAI browser? Well, that's what the Fireship video is about. Can you guys hear the? Yeah, right. Can you guys hear the video? I'll play it. Can you guys hear it? No. Okay. Let me reshare it with audio. Share sound.
With the release of Atlas,
Now can you hear it?
their new AI-powered browser built around
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
yesterday, OpenAI stepped into the web browser Thunderdome with the release of Atlas, their new AI-powered browser built around ChatGPT. And although I had anniversary plans, I imagine this is just how John Muir felt when he said, "The comments are calling and I must go." The idea for Atlas is pretty simple. Fork Chromium and Vibe add ChatGPT into it as an assistant that can see, remember, and help with anything you need. Like imagine you wanted to eat food. To do that, you'd usually have to go to the DoorDash app and go through the work of ordering it yourself like a prehistoric hunter-gatherer. But now with Atlas, you can just tell it exactly what you want to eat and it'll do the work for you. Augustus Gloop himself couldn't have designed a better experience. Of course, Atlas is only available on Mac, but thankfully my neighbor is an unemployed JavaScript developer, so I was able to borrow his to check it out. It is October 22nd, 2025, and you're watching the Code Report. As a believer of the free and open web, there's nothing I'd enjoy more than to hear that OpenAI pushed Codex to its limits and built a new engine and browser from scratch. But like almost all new browsers lately, Atlas is just a fork of Chromium, Google's free and open source web browser. According to the keynote, OpenAI didn't want it to just feel like Chrome with ChatGPT bolted on. And after playing with it for a little bit, I can confidently say that's exactly how it feels. Sam Altman even told me they completely reinvented the way a browser is used. But I think the reality is that they mostly just copied Perplexity Comet. Despite that, there are still some cool parts to it. Because it can see everything you do, it's able to use your browsing history as context when you ask it questions. Now, I know that sounds like a horrible violation of your privacy, but you are able to control what it remembers and delete certain memories if you need to. And as you saw earlier with the DoorDash order, agent mode lets ChatGPT take actions on your behalf. It does feel a bit like watching a disabled pirate try to use a mouse for the first time, but as I told my wife on our honeymoon, the experience improves with practice. But of course, agentic powered browsers don't have the best track record when it comes to privacy or security. Earlier this year, a team at Brave was able to successfully orchestrate a prompt injection in Perplexity's Comet AI browser by embedding malicious instructions inside of an image that would get triggered when a screenshot was taken of it and analyzed by the model. And that same team discovered that Fellow, which coins itself as the world's first agentic browser, was also vulnerable to a prompt injection simply by instructing the model to visit a website with the malicious instructions. Because your browser usually contains highly sensitive cookies and data, the team at Brave's ultimate takeaway was that indirect prompt injection is not an isolated issue, but a systemic challenge facing the entire category of AI-powered browsers. It was Benjamin Franklin who famously said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." But old Benjamin Unbuttoned was always down for a good time, and I'm pretty sure even he'd be tempted to trade in his entire digital privacy and security for an easier way to order Taco Bell, like the new Flamin' Hot Colon Prolapser grilled cheese burrito, available for a limited time at participating US Taco Bell locations. But if you want to avoid this temptation altogether, another browser that's being worked on is Ladybird. Unlike the others, it's fully independent and recreating both the engine and browser from scratch without using code from any other existing browser. It's an incredibly ambitious project, but they just recently passed the 90% threshold on web platform tests, which makes them eligible to be an alternative browser engine on iOS. But though Ladybird doesn't have any AI aspirations, every developer and company out there is trying to build the next big AI product. But the hard truth is that your LLM is basically worthless without a good search engine, which is why you need to check out Melee Search, the sponsor of today's video. It's a RESTful search API that understands user intent and returns relevant results in milliseconds. That means your app's AI features actually feel intelligent, instead of the typical vague AI slop. The search is hybrid, semantic, and multimodal, which allows it to pull rich context from any data type. And it has over 53,000 GitHub stars, with developers appreciating how you can drop it into any tech stack, then instantly scale up to millions of searches. Try out Melee Search Cloud for free for 2 months using the code FIRESHIP at the link below. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and
Hey, Andy, you're muted.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicholas. So Kaden had a question about did they make it with ChatGPT? So they didn't, they did make it with ChatGPT. So they basically got the Chrome driver, which is from Google Chrome. And basically that's open source. And then they just sticked ChatGPT onto it. So it's just basically Chrome with ChatGPT. And Nicholas, do we paste it into the program we worked on last week? Or in a new program? You just create a new file. So let's say, I know that people here use Replit or VS Code. You just create a new file there and call it tic-tac-toe CLI. And yeah. So today we're actually just gonna step right into just coding. We're gonna build a project. And as the name suggests, it's a tic-tac-toe project. Basically, we're gonna build a tic-tac-toe game AI, which let's say you're playing against the AI in tic-tac-toe. And please let me know if you guys are done with copy and pasting the GitHub. Okay, 1 second. Let me log out. Okay, sorry. Needed to log out of the class page. Okay, and who hasn't copy and pasted the program yet, please let me know. And today we'll be going through each and every student. So I'm going to ask you guys to share your screen. And basically, we're going to get everyone here to just write one of the functions so that you guys can also get a feel for how the project works and build the function that you will need. Okay, since no one said that they need more time, let's just hop right into it. And let me share my screen. Share. Where's my TikTok? Can you guys see my screen? Right now, I'm just gonna explain the code for you guys. Okay, yes. So I have nothing done for you guys. It's all comments for you guys to implement and just the basic functions, the function names, and we'll just walk through it right now. So we have about 7 functions that we need to implement, and let me explain each function for you guys. Initialize board, we'll create a 3x3 board for tic-tac-toe. Make move, basically each player has a move. We check if the move is, if there's already a player that made a move on that placement. If it did, then we return false. And if the cell is empty, then we apply the move and then we return true. Check winner, we check if someone won or not. So that is three across or three vertical or three diagonal. And we check if it's a draw. And this is when all the board is filled up, but no one won. Now we have the get available moves, which is the environment that we're working on. So the empty spots that we are able to move into. Pretty print is basically just displaying the board so that the user can see it properly. And then we have the AI move, which will be the main AI point where we will kind of build the Minimax function that the AI will play with. And finally, we have the play game. This is the main loop, which we'll need to complete. So first, let's, I'm going to invite you guys to share your screens one by one. Okay. First, let's go by letters, the alphabet. Let's go the opposite direction. So, Nicholas, if you want to start sharing your screen, and we'll go implement the first function, which is initialize board. And you'll be able to share your screen. Please share it to your Replit or VS Code. Thank you. Okay. Yep, I can see your screen. And if you can just unmute your mic, that would be good as well. Just for the function that you implement.
Which function?
So the initialize board, we're gonna implement that. Okay,
All right.
let me just tell you what the function does. So basically, you're gonna create a brand new 3 by 3 board where each cell is empty. So you need to return a list of 3 by 3 with 3 rows, 3 columns, and each inner list has all none because we don't want anyone to have a move yet. And yeah, basically no other data, no numbers, no strings, just none. So can you just explain how would you implement it or what your ideas are?
Let me think for a bit.
Yep. And after Nicholas, it'll be James, so just get ready for that as well. And if you're
What do you
stuck,
What do you mean by
yep.
like give an idea?
Just how do you think we should implement this? Like returning this 3 by 3 of all values none, this list of lists.
Wouldn't we just return it as a list, empty list?
Yeah. But how would you build the list and return that?
We need to state that there's a list first.
Yeah. So let's try implementing this in the best way possible. You know what a for loop is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's start by doing that. Let's create, you should do it on the pass, the insert your code place. If you see, yeah. First, we want to set an empty list so that we can for loop and append more lists inside that empty list. So before you do the for, let's do main list equals and then an empty list.
Say it again.
So let's write main list. So main list equals some empty list. Oh, MAIN. Good job. Equals bracket bracket. And then now we'll for loop through it and add three lists with each saying none, none, none.
Hmm?
We'll have two for loops. The parent one will make each row, and the inner one will make three columns for each row. Yep.
Do you want this or
Yeah. 4, 4. Yep. But you also need to for loop through three times, right? So that would be, do you know the range function?
forget?
1 second. She's trying to edit the WordPress. Okay. Yeah, exactly like that. But we need that for the outside and the inside. So both loops have to be I in range 3. Yep. And remember that after the first for loop, we need to set a list, and that would be called the inner list. Yep. Enter sublist equals, yep. Good job. Now, now let's do sublist dot append none. Enter, enter. And what do you think we should do next?
Make the main list none. Make the three sublists none.
Yep.
And put that
And
into the main list.
I think you have the main list in the wrong indent.
This one?
No, no, no. The last line. Yep. That should be on the
Oh, is
backspace.
it?
Yep. No, no, no. Only one. Basically, the inner one, you go through three times, make a list of three nuns, and each time you want to append that back into the main list. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And the second for loop, you're using the same variable twice, I and I.
Doesn't matter what letter.
Up to you. And yeah, now what do you think you're missing? If you read it again, it says what you need to do, and then it says return the value. So let's return the main list. Yep, good job. Now you can stop sharing. And does anyone not understand what we just did? Please let me know. one sec. Seems to be okay. Now, James, can you share your screen when you're ready? And yes, Caden. It just makes the list and adds the none into the list and then returns it. Yep. So basically it just, okay. No worries, James. Okay, who's next? Nicholas, James, Caden. Can you share your screen? Thank you. Now let's go on to make move. So also for those of you who don't know, that three quotation marks, that's called the doc string. And basically it just defines the function. So if you actually hover on the make move header, yep, hover on it, it basically shows you what exactly you wrote on the doc string. So it's good for when you have a big, large project and you don't know what each function does. This is a great way to show it. Now let's start implementing make move. So let me just explain it first. Make move, basically you're trying to place the player in the X or O on the board at the given coordinates. Since if you look at the header, it says row and column. That's basically where the player wants to put it. And the parameters are the board, the row column, and the players. And it basically returns true if the cell was empty and the move was applied. And it returns false if the cell was already containing a mark. So let's say X is trying to move it, but O was already there. You can't move that, right? And so basically what you need to do, you check if the board row column is none. If it is, then assign the player to the cell and return true. Otherwise, leave the board unchanged and return false. Now, Kaden, what do you think what's your thought process? Although, Kaden, you won't need the inputs because they're already given. The row and column are already given in the function. Since in the arguments, the parameters hold the row and column. So you won't need to ask them here. We usually ask that in the main game loop. But you had the right idea. Oh, yep. And delete the pass as well. So we want to first check whether the board row column is none. Yep. Column is none. Yep. Then what do we want to do? If it is, then we want to assign the player to that cell. Yep. Good job. And what do we want to do? We want to return true. Yep. And what else? Yeah. If it isn't, then we return false. And just so you know, you don't really need the else statement. Yep. Uh, you want to still keep that false though. It's just that it will run that whether or not you have the else statement. Yep, that's good. And for the first line that you did, if board row column equals none, you can also do is, just so you know, is. Oh, yeah, both work. It's just for your knowledge. Okay, that's good. What's the difference? None. There's no difference. Yep. Thank you for sharing it. You can, yep. Let's just change Kitten Albert. Can you share your screen? And you'll, yep. Please go up to number 3. Check winner. Yep. Oh, you already did it? Okay. Do you mind explaining each row just for the others as well? And go know the. Okay. Do you want to just delete it and then we can go through it? Oh, I see. Yeah, you have the auto thingy. Yep. Okay. So let me just explain it for the other people as well and just explain what the function is supposed to do. Number 3 is check the winner. Basically, we want to examine the board, decide whether the player won. So you guys know, you guys have probably played tic-tac-toe. We just decide if player X or O has 3 in a row horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. And basically, we return X or O if the either player has won, and none if no player won. So what do we need to do? Basically, we build a collection lines of every possible win. So like each row, each column, and each diagonal. So that's like around 8. And we iterate each line and check is the first line, is the first cell of the line is not null. And all 3 cells in the rows or the columns is equal. And if the winning line is found, we return the symbol stored in that line. So let's actually go up a bit. Yeah, good. Because you can't really see the comments from there. So what do you think is your next step that you need to go to? One second, guys. Okay. So the new password for the class is here. So I'll send it in the chat. See if this one works for you guys. Check it out myself as well. This is for the class page. Nicholas, where is what? The class page? Oh, oh, the password. Okay, it's in chat, and I just checked and it works. So you guys can go to the class page if you guys need. And can someone check as well? And let me know if the password works. Okay. You're getting an invalid password. Then I guess, do you want to try it again? Yeah. Oh, I don't think that's the right. I not copy it from Zoom. Oh, I think you guys can't copy it from Zoom. You guys might have to like word forward. Um, yep. QY73. Okay. Is the I capital? Did you put the I capital? Okay. Yeah. Is the I capital? Okay, then if you want to try it again, and let me know if it works. And Albert, can you share your screen again to the, oh, it doesn't work? I would just suggest doing it letter for letter, MLAIPY 73, because it works for most of us right now. And also try like reloading the screen as well. And Albert, can you, it is A capital I. Capital A, capital I. Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, that's good. Now let's see, where were we? Oh yeah, I think I asked you how you think we would implement it. You have an idea, and it's okay if you don't. Do you have an idea, Albert? I do not. Okay, sounds good. So first of all, the first job right here is to build the collection of lines. So basically, we just want to add all the lines that are possible winners into a main list. So let's put the main list equals bracket bracket. You might need to indent that. 1 second there. You need main list together or main list lines together in as one word. Yep, yep. Good job. Although I would put underscore. Yep. Oh, is suggesting you, but let's not do that and put main underscore list underscore lines underscore. Oh, is it not allowing you to cancel? Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, underscore, underscore, oh, enter. Yeah, don't accept the Copilot and then enter a new line. And let's add the rows. So this would be for, if I press enter, it auto, okay, I see. So yeah, basically for each row in range three. Okay, we should probably disable the Copilot next time, but it's fine. Uh, yeah, for each row, we actually add the rows for each row, the first row, second row, third row, we add it to the main list lines. And for each column, we do the same. And just to stop you there, the first for loop, the way we add the rows is by the first index is going to be the row. So it's 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2. And the second for loop is the second index from 0, 1, 2 as well. Now let's add the diagonals. There's only two diagonals, so there's no need for loop. Basically, we just append that. Okay. This Copilot thing is really annoying. But let's now check each line, iterate each line and check if the first cell is not a none, and if the other three cells are equal to that first cell. Do you have an idea, Albert, of how to do this? No? Okay. So basically, how would the for loop be implemented? Can you just implement the for loop? You forgot? Okay, sounds good. Can you do a tab so that you go to the first indent and write for line in main list lines, like it says, but okay. Uh, and basically, if line is if the first line index is not none, then we check the whole row or column or diagonal to see if they're all the same. And if it is, then the player won. So let's return that player, or else we return none, like Copilot suggests. Yep, that's good. And let's for next time, let's try and not or like disable it just for the class. And do you understand what we did, Albert? And let me know if you didn't or if you need anything. I'm used to everything being in brackets because oh, I see. Partially. Is there a area that you don't get? Please let me know. Not in particular. Okay. And just for the others, we're basically storing all ways to win and checking each way to win and seeing if the player won. So the only way to win is for the player X or the player O to have all three in each row or column or diagonal. So we're basically storing all ways to win and checking each way. And that's good. You can stop sharing. Now if Adam can share his screen, please.
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you for turning on your mic as well. And you'll be implementing isDraw. It'll be basically using the is check winner as well. So okay. Can you fade out that left side? Because it's like blocking the
Where?
screen.
What?
Oh, the you see that new chat with assistant? It's blocking the screen a bit, so yeah, thank you. Go to up a bit to number 4.
What?
Oh, I don't think you have the is draw function. Do you?
I don't think so.
Okay. Let me share you the link to the GitHub again. 1 second, let me find it. Actually, yeah, okay. I pasted in the chat. Can you go and copy and paste number 4? Scroll down to number 4. It should be like, I don't know, line 100. Yep, is draw, and then just copy and paste that. Oop, copy it, go back to the IDE.
I can't see it
Okay.
because it's
Uh, just do exit out this tab. Control W, I think. Okay. Control W again.
Can I just stop sharing?
Yeah, stop sharing and then go find it again. And let me know if you're having any troubles with finding your IDE. Everyone else has the number 4, right? Is draw. Please let me know in the chat. Okay. Okay, good. So for everyone, is draw basically does determines whether the game is ended in a draw. And everyone probably knows this, but basically it's a draw if all the board is filled and no one has won. So what you need to do is basically check that every cell is not none. So all the board is filled up. And it suggests that you can do it with a double loop, double for loop, list comprehension, or an all statement. And then number 2, you basically call the check winner board and check if it returns none. And basically none means there's no winner. Therefore, it's a draw. And if it is full, and then you return true, and that means someone already won, so you don't return, so it isn't a draw. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. So, do you have an idea about how you're going to implement this, Adam?
No.
No? Okay, first, let's delete that pass actually. Also, just for everyone, there's a pass because it's just a placeholder. So, if anyone was wondering that, and let's just delete pass. And pass is an actual code. It basically just skips it and just returns. Yep. So basically, what does the first thing say? It says we need to verify that all some cells are not none. So how do you think we can check if all cells are not none, Adam?
Mm,
Do you have an idea?
no.
Okay. First thing we can do is check with a double for loop. Do you know how to implement a double for loop?
Mm,
If not, I can help you out as well. There's no pressure.
no.
No, okay. So first thing you want to do is for I in range 3. And basically this goes through every row. And there's 3 rows, so 3. Oh, the range should be a function, so it's range of 3. So it's circle brackets. Yep, for I in range 3, and then enter. Now we do for j in range 3. Basically, this, what it does, for each row, we go through all 3 columns. Do you understand this, Adam?
Yeah.
Okay, now enter, and now we want to check that since we're now going through each cell, we want to check if they're null or none. So let's do if board square bracket ij, and then you can implement it. So we want to check if they're none. Yep. And if it is none, then we want to return false. Yep. Good job. Now enter. This is the first part, right? You now verified that all cells are not none. Since we're going through each cell, if it is none, then we are already return false and exit out of the function. Now press enter. A lot more until you get to the first line. Although tab, just because we want to get in that function. Now we want to call check winner board, which Albert already implemented. Was it Albert? Someone already implemented. So if you want to implement that, then you go ahead.
And what
We
was it
call
again?
it says right there, it's check winner. Check underscore winner. And we pass in the board. And we check if it's none. And if there is no winner, then we return true. Otherwise, return false. No need to write the else statement. We can just write return false outside the if statement. So subtract it again. Yep. Oh, uh, tab it. Go to the same column of if. Yep. Good job. Return false. Yep. False needs to be capital. Yes. Do you understand what we did, Adam?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay. And does everyone have any questions? If not, and you can stop sharing now. Does anyone have any questions? I'm gonna assume no. Now let's start from the top again. Nicholas, please share your screen. You'll be implementing get available moves. Whenever you're ready. Thank you. Are we gonna get the final code at the end? Yes. I will always each week post the final. Okay. Yeah. Uh, where was I? Oh yeah. Each week, once we're done coding it, of course, I'm gonna post the solutions in the same GitHub. And you guys should actually try to clone the repository because, okay, you guys should actually try to clone the repository because all you have to do is run git pull and you guys will have all my code each week just by one command. And you guys will need to use GitHub nonetheless in the field anyways, since it is basically the most used and most important tool in CS. And just like Lucy said, that's the new class page password. And please let us know if you guys are unable to access the class page. Now, Nicholas, where were we? Right. We're implementing the fifth function, get available moves. I'll explain what it does. So basically, this is kind of the function where it provides the environment. Basically, we return a list of every empty square in the board. So we go through the board, check each cell, and if it is empty, then we return it back to the user. And basically what you need to do is iterate over the rows 0 to 2 and the columns 0 to 2. And if the board row column is none, then we append it. And we want to append it in the as tuple because that's the row and column. There's two values that we need. And number three, we want to return this populated list. And it might be empty if the board is full. And if the board is full, remember, either there's a winner or there's a draw. So, Nicholas, do you have an idea about how to implement this get available moves function? And it's totally fine if you don't.
Yeah, I don't have an idea.
Okay, sounds good. So, what it says, what you need to do, number one is to iterate over each row and column. So, do you know a way to visit each cell in this board? So, we want to go over each row and then go over each column in the row.
You could just one way to do is you could just check each individual cell if it's equal to something.
Yeah, that's actually the right answer. That's the perfect answer. How would we implement that using code? If you want to go slowly code it, do you know what statement we'll use? Let's say while or what do you think we should use?
If
If? Yeah. that will be the main conditional to check if the it is none. But we might also need one more thing, which is we want a for loop to each cell and check if, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Now, can you implement the for loops? Yep. For each row. So that's the row or I or anything. I in range three. Yep. Colon. Enter. For J in range three.
Doesn't matter what the second one is, or
Nope.
should we just use the same ones we did up top?
For what? Oh
Because
yeah.
all the
Uh
back when I first started, do I need this need to be a different one or
yeah, that's actually a great question. So basically, how would I explain this? In code, in a file, each function has its own scope. So since the previous function that you implemented was a different function, it has a different scope. So when you put an I in that first function, even if you put an I in this function, they actually don't overlap. So you're fine to put the same I and J and same variable names, and it won't be a problem unless you implemented that function inside of this function. Then that would be a problem. And yeah, go ahead if we want to go through each cell and we want to check if it is none. Do you understand up to here?
yeah.
Yeah, good job. Now enter and return. Oh, we don't want to return that. What do we want to do?
Say it again?
So you know how the AI is suggesting you to return I and J? I mean G.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to return that because, as number two says, if it is none, then we want to append it to a list. So let's make a list first. So above the for loop, right above it, let's just do like, I don't know, main list or available moves. And just so you guys know, for available names, it's best to put available underscore move for Python. Sometimes you'll use camel case as well, which is the most used for JavaScript. And that's basically having each subsequent first letter being a capital, but usually in Python you use an underscore. But yeah, that's good. Available moves equals bracket bracket. Now where were we? Line 153. After that, what do we do if it is none? Yep, good job. Available moves, dot append. Yeah. Now, what do you think is next? We want to return the populated list at the end. Do you know how to implement that? So after we are done appending the tuple into the list, actually we don't want to return it after we append one tuple. We want to implement it, return it after going through each cell. So we want to do it after visiting each cell. Do you know how to implement that?
No.
Okay, let's go. Yep, yep, that's exactly. Oh, enter, back, tab. Yep, right there on the line of the for is where we want to return it. Do you know why?
Is it because it's after everything else?
Yep, basically. The reason we do it after everything else is because we want to visit each cell. If you put it somewhere else, then before it visits each cell, it returns it. So you don't get to visit each cell. Do you understand it?
Yeah,
Okay, good. And basically that's it, right? Do you have any
yeah,
questions or do you understand what we just went through?
I understand it. Yeah,
Okay, that's good. Thank you for sharing. And if you can stop sharing the code. After Nicholas, James doesn't have his right now. Caden, if you can share your screen, we'll go and implement Pretty Print. And James, do you have any questions or anything you're stuck with? Just read? Okay. Just checking in. No worries. Where are we? Define Pretty Print. So for everyone, I'll just go over it. Basically, this is for the user. You just want to kind of display the tic-tac-toe screen because if you don't, how would they really know what's going on? So basically, you want to display the current board, and it kind of shows you what it kind of expects. So what you need to do is first create a helper, so it turns each cell into a printable symbol. So basically, if it is none, then it's just a space, or if it is a player, X or O, you want to show that, and you want to build the. So what you want to do is build each row using a for loop. And for each row, you want to build each column of each row using a for loop as well. So it'll be visiting each row, and for each row, you will visit each column. I won I wonder if this is confusing, but yeah, that's what we'll do. And second, we'll build a list called rows, where each entry is a string. And yeah, if you want to go ahead and implement that. First of all, do you have any questions, Nicholas? I mean, not Nicholas. Caden. No. Okay. Do you have an idea of how to implement it? No. No. Okay. No, maybe? Okay. Just to help you out. So you gotta think about this more. This you probably have the hardest one here. So like we did before, you want to just go through each cell, which you already did with the double for loops. So let's just implement that. And also, just so you know, Caden, you don't need the zero while you have the right idea. It does work. It's just the three works as well. Yep. For each cell. Now, yep, you can keep implementing it. If board, if that cell, if each cell. Although Caden, the board won't be like a function, so you only need the brackets, the square brackets, since you're trying to index, right? And board isn't a function, so it won't. Yep. If board, yep. If the cell is none, then what do we want to do? Okay, thank you for asking. So here's where we want to think of it. We want to create this row first. So after that for I in range 3, let's enter. Unless, oh, after the for I in 3. So just right above the J. Yep, thank you. So you'll do, what will you do? Let's say row, row string, row underscore string equals quotation. So basically we're setting an empty string. Now for each cell, if it is none, we're gonna add a zero. I mean, not a zero, like an empty string, but a space. So we want to do row underscore string. And how do we add to a string? Although for a string, you can just do plus equals. And append won't work because it's not a list. Yep, that's good. Plus equals, we want to do a space. Yep, space, good job. Now, that's good for that. Now we want to go to the other cases, right? So we want to check if player is X or if player is O. Yep, equals equals. Yep, yep. String. Yep. So if player is X, then what do we want to do? Oh, actually, instead of player, what do you think we should be? Since we're not checking the player, but we're checking the, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're checking the board IJ. Do you get, do you get that? Do you understand why it's board IJ? Yes? Okay, good. Yep, row string. Now we want to add the X instead of not a space, nor a zero. So it's the X. Yep, good job. Yep. Although checking if X should also be a elif. And do you know why elif is better than if in this case? It's part of the, yeah, it is part of the if, but I mean, it is totally valid to do double ifs. It's just that if it is if it is none, and you add a space, then it's kind of redundant to check another X. Since if we have two if statements, we check if it is none, and if it is none, then we also check again if it is X, which is doesn't really make sense. Because if it is none, then it can't be X. Yeah. And colon, is it in, oh, it's O in alphabet O. Yep. Job, row underscore string. Yep. Good job. So here we checked each cell and checked if it was a player or a none. So one more thing we want to add to that row string. After each LOX or space, we want to kind of put a bar. No, no, not there. If you do that, you will have to put it on everyone, right? So another thing you can do is just after everything. So under the if board, yeah, row plus equals zero, enter, subtract. Yep. There we want to add row string plus equals that bar. That is way better, right? Since we only need to change one thing. And one more thing though, we want to not add it if it is the last element. So we want to check if J is 2. If it is 2, then we don't want to add the, oh, we need a new if statement here. Do you know why? It's separate. Yeah, good job. So if, where were we? Yeah, forward J. Oh, we only need to check J. Yep, job. J equals 2. Then that's the last element, so we don't need the, let's do, yep, return. We can do, return would exit out the whole function. What would be another better thing? So return would exit out the whole function, which we don't want. So another thing we can do is break, which just breaks out the second for loop. Do you understand it? Good. And everyone else, please let me know if you guys don't understand anything as well. So if j equals 2, break, or else we want to add that bar. Now for each row, let's go bottom. Yep. Subtract. Now this is each row. Now after everyone appends that, what do you call it? Kind of, how do you even say that? Row string, I guess. Then we want to add that to the column. So basically, you need to separate each line like this, right? And the best thing for that is slash n. So let's create another variable at top. So for I in range 3, enter, and then up top, we create a main string, main underscore string equals, yep, string I mean, quotation, quotation. Now go to the bottom, enter, yeah, main string plus equals, quotation, quotation, and inside the quotation do slash n for a new line. Oh, it's the opposite slash. So this one. Yep, good job. You can see how it turns yellow. What does? Oh, okay. So basically backslash n is what we call it, and basically it means new line. So in a string, it basically just enters. Yep. And oh yeah, plus equals after that you want to also do plus row string, row underscore string, plus slash n. Actually, that's not the slash n. Subtract, subtract, and that's good. Oh, you don't need the slash in there. Yep, and that's good. Now what do we do? And that's it. Print a blank line at the end would be good. So let's just do print. Oop, and yep, print. And then just an empty print. Yep, that's good. Actually, Do we want to print this? Yes. So let's just print it. Yeah. Oh, you just need to print the main string since we already built it, right? So we just need to print the main string, and that would basically show the main string of the board. And thank you, Kaden, for showing this and doing it. We actually are pretty much closely out of time, so we'll continue this next week. Next week, we'll try and implement the main AI move, which we will implement. Let's try and do Minimax and then Expectimax, as well as alpha beta pruning. Have you guys heard of that before? All three of these? I'll write it in the chat as well. Expectimax, alpha pruning. These are basically decision-making algorithms or AI. Have you guys heard of this? You guys learned about it? That's good. So next week we'll be implementing it and we'll go slowly about it because I know that most people don't understand it well as well. Although it is a hard topic to teach. So we'll just try and implement it. Does that sound good? And since you guys, let me actually share my screen. Can you guys see my screen? It's just a blank screen right now, but can you guys see my screen? Why can't I see the chat? I only remember that pruning is just when you stop searching on the part. Yeah. It's basically, yeah, you got the right idea. It's just the reason we have pruning is because, like, going down a game tree is very long and time complexity is big. So we want to kind of cut down on the amount of time that the AI spends on trying to find out the next move. And a way of doing that is pruning, and basically you just stop searching on a part of the graph. So can you guys see my screen actually? It's the code. I want to just show you guys the sample output. Actually, we can just do that next week. Okay. I will now, if you guys are up to it, do Blicket. Although it's the topic for next week, we'll be doing Minimax search Blicket. Are you guys okay with that? Can you guys see my screen? Yeah? Okay, good. Okay. Post. Um, Post now. Uh, can you guys enter it? Copy join link on the, oh, your, the Zoom was the Zoom was covering it. Sorry guys. Here you go. I'll just wait until 2 minutes. or 1 minute for you guys to join.